Shabbat Shalom. My youngest daughter became bat mitzvah last Shabbat, and I'm still kind of on a high, floating a little bit. As my girls get older, I find myself thinking back more wistfully to their childhoods. And just yesterday, I was in the garage looking through a box of books, trying to find our copy of George Orwell's Animal Farm, which my older daughter read and is now assigned to my younger daughter. And darn it, I don't want to buy my third copy of Animal Farm, as great as the book is. And I'm looking for it, and I come across some parenting books that we had been given years and years and years ago. And one was by a guy named Dr. Ray Levy, and it was called Try and Make Me. Simple strategies that turn off the tantrums and create cooperation. It's a book written for rabbis of large synagogues, for their congregants. No, it's a book designed to help parents of toddlers. And I'm thinking that there should be a follow-up for parents of teenagers. And I am the proud father of not one, not two, but 3 teenage daughters. So I think I could either write that book or be very deeply helped by such a book. But one lesson that I remember from Dr. Levy's book is that when a child keeps asking for something over and over again, I want ice cream, I want ice cream, I want ice cream, Dr. Levy says the parent should say, it's nice to want things. And that's the response. Every time I want ice cream, just say, it's nice to want things. And the implication is clear. Just because you want it doesn't mean you're going to get it. It's actually a very, very important life lesson. There are things in life that we want which we will never attain. But what do we do about this reality, this truth that there are things that we desire that we might never fully realize? And as always, we look to our tradition for guidance, and wouldn't you know it, in this week's Torah portion, we find help. The most famous line in this week's parasha, and Caitlin's going to talk about it tomorrow when she celebrates becoming bat mitzvah, is tzedek, tzedek, tirdof. Justice, justice you shall pursue. And the Torah goes on to tell us we should pursue justice so that we will live and inherit the land which the eternal your God gives you. Now, it doesn't say justice, justice you shall do, or justice, justice you shall realize. The Hebrew is very particular. We're supposed to rodef. We're supposed to run after justice, pursue justice. And by implication, we never fully realize it. Now, one of the great Hasidic masters, known as the Sfat Emet, or the Sfas Emes, Yehuda Aryeh Leib Alter, who lived in Poland in the 19th century, here's how he explains that sense of pursuing. He says it's written, pursue, tirdof, to teach us that it is impossible to realize justice fully. Nevertheless, we must always pursue it, knowing full well that we will never achieve it completely. Now, from the perspective of our Torah, at least according to the Sfat Emet, it's nice to want justice. In fact, we should want it so much that we pursue it endlessly, but we will not realize it in this world. And later he suggests perhaps the only place we could ever realize justice fully is in Olam Haba, in the world to come. But this mindset, this notion that there is ultimate meaning in an endless pursuit of a value that can never be realized, is at odds with so much of what modernity wants for us and what we want for ourselves. We want it all, and we want it now. And our happiness, we tell ourselves, depends on getting what we want. We are sometimes just like those kids with their insatiable desires. We want, and we want, and we want. Now here's how Emile Durkheim, the French Jewish 19th century father of modern sociology, put it. He wrote, to pursue a goal, which is by definition unattainable, is to condemn oneself to a state of perpetual happiness. That's pretty dark. He said again, to pursue a goal, which is by definition unattainable, is to condemn oneself to a state of perpetual unhappiness. It's in a chapter of a book that he wrote. The chapter is called Suicide. So it actually is a very dark part of that work. But he understands modernity as that type of condition of perpetual unhappiness. But I would argue, with all due respect to Durkheim, that he was wrong. Because pursuing an unattainable goal, which is worthy of our pursuit, actually elevates us. It ennobles us. And it can, if we choose to see it that way, it can bring us meaning and the joy and satisfaction that comes from living a life of meaning. Indeed, it's nice to want things. Here's the catch. The important thing is to want what's important, what's of ultimate value. The important thing is to want what's important. And here's the message for this week's Torah portion and for this time in the Jewish calendar, the month of Elul. We began our service by blowing the shofar to remind us that we are in that time of preparation for the high holy days. And here's the message. What we want, what we desire is a reflection of our values, of who we are. We should want justice so badly that we'll seek it, we'll pursue it all the days of our lives. We'll value it so highly that we'll commit ourselves to its attainment endlessly with the knowledge that we will most likely never fully achieve it. Tzedek, tzedek, tirdof. Justice, justice, you shall pursue all the days of our lives with all of our strength, with full hearts. It's nice to want something like this. Shabbat shalom.